Hi, this is Matt Geha, Superintendent, and I'm here today with our Director of Safety Services, Brett Warner. Brett, thanks for sitting with me today.
Thanks for having me.
Share with me a little bit about your history in the district and then just your career path that brought you to us here in Holland, Ohio, Springfield.
Well, believe it or not, this is my sixth year as a Springfield employee. Came here during COVID, right after had retired. And then my nearly 20 years at the sheriff's office, obviously we had a lot of interactions where I came in and out of Springfield, so I was very familiar with the district. But during COVID and all the law enforcement agencies were having trouble with staffing, and so we modeled this position after some of the other schools in our area to come up with an answer for an SRO during COVID. So 6 years ago,
Well, now you have a military history too. Can
I
you
am
briefly share that?
I am a retired Air Force, Air National Guard, Air Force Reserve. I was a total of 23 years. About half of my time was active, and about half of my time was Guard or Reserve.
So, thank you for that service also, but the 6 years you spent with us has really changed how we do safety services here and has been remarkable. Um, Part of the safety services that we offer is the safety team that you've essentially put together. Can you share with us who's on your safety team?
Sure. We have a contract that I oversee with the Lewis County Sheriff's Office. So Deputy Sheriff Trujillo is assigned to the high school. She is a full-time deputy. She comes to us with lots of experience. She was actually a SRO prior to coming to Lucas County. She was in Texas. She was an SRO. We also have a contract with Holland Police Department, and we have um, Officer Todd Shelton, who is assigned to the middle school and Holland Intermediate, so he covers both those buildings. And we also have a part-time employee who's a reserve deputy, Deputy Sheriff Jim Schill. He's our, we call it a part-time slash substitute SRO. So yeah,
For a school our size, that is an awesome safety team to have.
it is. It gives us the ability to keep main campus covered, and then it allows me the ability to be a roaming SRO. So those three buildings, technically four buildings that we have outside of Holland that are in Springfield Township, allows SRO services to those buildings. So I literally can roam around and be there. When I'm not doing that, I can fill in if someone's out, if someone has an appointment, I can fill in on main campus for those other ones. So it gives us the ability to always have that coverage.
S- some people think that we only have this protection on our main campus, which is every kid, fourth grade through 12th. So, how often do you get to Holloway, Chrissy, and Door?
Every day, at least once a day. So I'm trying to make a second visit, and depending on their needs as well. I am available to be called. Holloway, I'm there twice a day because we do traffic at the end of the day there. So it's at least once, sometimes twice, maybe more.
That is great. So, thank you for just running around everywhere too. Either you're called there or you just have time to go do a walkthrough. Thank you for that. So, Brent, share with me the equipment that you oversee as our Director of Safety Services.
I am fondly referred to often as the cone man because I use a lot of traffic cones to direct a lot of our traffic. So I say that to be funny, but it's very important that we use things like that to make sure that students are safe, and that we block off areas that need to be blocked off. But probably the most important thing is what you hear on my shoulder right here, the communications in the district, making sure that we all are utilizing their radios because that is the fastest way of communication. Too often, people are trying to get away from using the radios and use the cell phones and use other things, but radios are still the number one way of communication. I have a great Motorola rep that I work with. We're trying to expand our district radios. We have been for 6 years, and we've made a lot of progress, a lot of progress.
Good. So, people ask me all the time if we take advantage of grants that are out there to help pay for things so that it's not coming out of the general fund. You and I do that together. So, what grants have you written and received?
So the biggest grant that is basically the security budget is through the Ohio Attorney General's office. That budget is, or excuse me, that grant is the security budget. So each year when I purchase radios, cones, or anything else that I purchase that has to do with security, those come directly from that grant. So when we're not using school funds to buy, purchase any of the equipment for security, it's all purchased through that grant. And for 6 years, you and I have been successful at getting that grant, which is the budget.
Yeah, excellent. So we hold a lot of events, and you're a big part of that. And these events that we hold are typically after school hours. So let's just use the example of a home football game, which is our largest event outside of high school graduation, which you help us with also at the Stranahan. So what does your team look like at a home high school football game on a Friday night?
Most of the time, you're going to see those individuals that I mentioned because they know the students. So you're going to see me, you're going to see Deputy Trujillo, Deputy Show, you're going to see Officer Shelton. And that's kind of the main team. But then we have a few spots that are open beyond that. So generally at a home game, we have 7 to 8 officers in or around the stadium at all times. So those other slots are filled by Holland officers, who we pay them an off-duty rate to be at our event. Holland officers often sign up and enjoy working those events. If Holland is unable to fill those slots, which doesn't happen very often, but when they don't, we go to Lucas County Sheriff's Office. I have several deputies who also enjoy coming out and working our events. We have a security setup where we have different posts where officers are at, different expectations of what they're doing at those spots. We recently started working the gate where we are searching the bags and etc. as people come through the gate. So it's a well-oiled machine at this point. We are several years into this process. We have a map. None of us have to carry the map anymore. We know which spot has which duties, and it works out well. And we haven't had any new people in quite some time. It's always return people who know what our system is.
That's great planning. So thank you for that. So share with me some of the tasks you do every day as the Director of Safety Services. What are some of the things we've either already talked about and those that we haven't that you do on a daily or weekly basis?
So some of the things outside of the SRO duties and the scheduling and the filling in that I enjoy doing is I've been working hard at training for and preparing for the Run Hide Fight. Run Hide Fight replaced a previous program that was here prior to my arrival, but we have really trained the staff, and now we have successfully had students work on actual drills for Run Hide Fight. So when we do a lockdown now, we give our staff, our educated, our professional staff, we give them options to do what they think is best based on the scenario that we give them. So we're doing actual scenario-based training here at Springfield, and I'm very proud of what this year we'll actually be doing. The intermediate school will be doing their first scenario-based, and next year the elementary schools will actually be moving to scenario-based training as well. So that Run Hide Fight piece is something that I'm proud of and something that I think that we do well here. People are always saying, we have lockdowns at Springfield. Is it dangerous at Springfield? And I'm constantly telling people that Springfield is one of the greatest places I've ever been. It is very safe, but it's all about location. And Springfield happens to be surrounded by Spring Meadows, Old Orchard, Airport Highway, McCord Road. At 10 o'clock at night, Holland has maybe 4,000 people, but at 10 o'clock in the morning, 40,000 people. So a lot of times when we're locking down, it has nothing to do with our school. It has to do with situations that are happening in our area, which is the benefit of having law enforcement officers with county radios on them, so we know that if things are happening nearby, that we can prepare the school for anything that might spill over onto our campus.
And so people now know that you're just not out there directing traffic or helping with a specific case, but you literally help us in the background with all of our plans all year long. So thank you for that. And you and I talk all hours of the day too, with swatting that's happened across the country and within our area. But when a child might make a threat online, either with the intent to do harm or just because they chose the wrong words, you and I talk all the time. So share with us briefly maybe some of the things that you and I have done in the evening hours when something comes up, how you've been contacted, and what your process is after that.
So I guess one of my, we've watched this position kind of evolve over the past 6 years. And I guess one of the things that this position really entails is being the liaison, the law enforcement liaison between Springfield schools and law enforcement. With 30 years of law enforcement experience, it helps to know both sides. It benefits both sides. So there have been times where I have been out with local law enforcement where we are actually interviewing people at 1 o'clock in the morning. And I'm on the phone with you explaining to you that everything's fine for the morning. We don't have to make any adjustments for our morning routine or we do, depending. So law enforcement will allow me most of the time to be there. And I'm still a certified peace officer in the state of Ohio. I am technically still what they call a special deputy. Sheriff Navarre grants me my powers and holds them for me and for the school so that we can do that. And so it's not uncommon for me to go out to scenes, and I actually have been called to a scene where, and again, you and I are talking, so I'm letting you know. It works out well for everybody. It gives the school access to somebody who knows the students, and it gives the school information a lot sooner than it might receive it otherwise.
Brett, thank you for your dedication to us here in Holland. Because
I gotta mention my favorite thing before. I'm sorry to cut you off, but I still get to go into the classrooms. I still get to go in and do the drug education pieces. And I still get to go in and do the safety pieces. So that's what makes me smile the most. Is it's not as much as I'd like it to be, but I do still get some classroom time with our students. Sorry to interrupt you.
but that's why we love you and how you kind of want to come back to us too. So we're very appreciative of that, and thank you for the care and time you give our district all hours of the day. So thank you very much. Thank you for tuning in again. We'll be back with some more info about inside Springfield schools.